Hi, everyone. We'll just give it maybe like a few seconds for people to hop on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Allison DeGuy, and I'm with the Illinois Restaurant Association. I'd like to thank you for joining today's business advising session on streamlining your tech stack and boosting your bottom line. This session is being presented by the Illinois Restaurant Association in partnership with the Cook County Small Business Source. Let me make sure I can share my screen. You can see the excuse me. Established to ensure businesses emerge from COVID-19 intact and positioned for growth, the Small Business North connects small business owners with expert guidance and support. Services include no-cost business advising, resources, and events that connect small business owners with a community of advisors. For one-on-one business advising, sign up at cookcountysmallbiz.org. It's free and easy to sign up. Also, before we begin, I'd like everyone to know that the Illinois Restaurant Association remains a resource to you. We send regular email updates with what you need to know, and you can sign up for these on our website. For today's session, you can use the Q&A button to post your questions at any time during the presentation, and we'll do a Q&A session at the end. And please feel free to use that Q&A button because we would definitely like to make it interactive today. At this time, I'd like to introduce our panelist, Robert Corral, Senior Sales Executive at Square. Robert, please take it away.
Thanks, Al. Thank you, ROA, excuse me, IRA for Illinois Restaurant Association for having me today. Um, yeah, I want to keep this, uh, discussional open to, any questions, so forth. I don't have too many slides. With the holidays, I figured short and sweet to the point would be our best bet. But yeah, I mean, Allie, if you want to go to the next slide, kind of the intro there. A little about me. Robert Crow, been in restaurant tech for the last 13 years. Started out my career here in Chicago at Groupon on the restaurant team. Then was the first kind of executive hired for Uber Eats, the Eats project at Uber Corp in 2017. After that, I went on to become an operator myself in the Ghost Kitchen virtual restaurant space, operating kitchens until 2021. That's when I started becoming a consultant, and then Square started in March of 21 as well. Um, but last 4 years, coming on 4 years, I've been at different roles at Square, from outside to inside, to now leading the Midwest region for the F&B space. Territories mainly in the Midwest, but I do work nationally just because I am bilingual, speak Spanish and Catalan and a little bit of Italian. Working on that one over the holidays. But that's enough about me. Been on both sides. As I was just telling the staff here, I'm what you call in the space a failed operator. I fell into that bucket of 80% failures. Um, I sat there at Uber and at Groupon. I thought I knew it all, and man, it was really come to having an unfortunate event like the pandemic happened. But even then, it was still struggling. So I know what it feels like to be in y'all's shoes. Um, you know, uh, Counting those pennies that every day, trying to make it squeeze, working with those small margins to make it work. Allie, go ahead. Go ahead and go to the next slide. By the way, y'all, I'm getting ready for vacation, so there's a lot of scenic, beautiful, like break time. So hopefully everyone's gonna take some time over the holidays. I know as entrepreneurs, restaurateurs, there's very little downtime. And thank you for being open when everyone else is closed. I will say that. But make sure you take some time for yourself just for that mental health and break. And it does work, does wonders to refresh and re-energize. Um, so I Googled this, right? Because I mean, I just want to make sure I was in the right mindset when it came to it. 5 ways to kind of increase your bottom line. I think in the restaurant space, and I want to keep generalists as well. I want to keep this open for entrepreneurs who do have other businesses and other verticals, to not be specifically to restaurants. So, I mean, I know a lot of y'all cross over to other things. Um, Loyalty program, marketing, customer service, efficient staff and processes, and tech stack. You can Google it. There's going to be tons of things you can see forth on here. And we can dissect these one by one. And Natalie, if questions start coming in, so forth, please interrupt me. I really take the questions as they come in. That way, we can address it because I think most of these are pretty self-explanatory, right? And I purposely set them up in this order, as in putting myself as an operator and also on the consultant side now, my consulting business and at Square as well. I am a consultant, not a sales rep. Um, on how I would direct a business owner on how to set this up, right? A loyalty program, get the customers, y'all. Let's be real. Um, Starbucks, for example, just I worked at Starbucks in high school and college. Back in 1999, I started. I'm aging myself here, but finally made me download that app. I love going into Starbucks, talking about that I used to work there. It's probably to the day the best job I ever had. I say that every day. It's not a week that doesn't go by. I don't think about quitting my job and going back to being a barista. It was so much fun, good time interacting with people. I learned how to communicate and multitask and so forth. But they finally got me on the loyalty program, and now I catch myself every time reaching for my phone to get my points. I don't even know what I'm using my points on. And now I got my credit card on there. It's so simple. Forgot my wallet the other day, and I'm like, oh, I have my phone. I can go into Starbucks and buy something, which is crazy. But little things like that. My grandfather, he has a wallet full of all these, like, next, take a stand, so forth. Well, having a loyalty program for your business is just another way to incentivize a consumer to get them back in there, right? And it comes back to your customer acquisition costs, right? What it costs you to acquire a new customer. This is one easy way because, believe it or not, people like free stuff. Incentivizing them, so forth. I think it's the easiest way to do it. Second, kind of ties into it is marketing. Um, Marketing, whether it's email, text marketing, whether you use a MailChimp or SurveyMonkey or Square's loyalty, whatever loyalty marketing, there should be a CRM being built in to your system that is getting that information for you to use to quite get that and then for customers, so forth. As we all know, January tends to be downtime, January, February downtime for restaurants, because everyone gets a little guilty about the spending they did for the holiday and so forth. Chicago started doing a great thing. Restaurant Week gets people in the door during the slower times of the year, and so forth. But the way they acquire those customers, get the marketing, getting some sort of marketing tool to use that. Um, Customer service. I mean, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. If you have good service, people are going to remember it. If you have bad service, they're going to remember that as well, right? Uh, Efficient staff and processes. I thought this was great. Having a staff that are all on the same team, one team, no I in team, right? Is just as important as having good service, right? If I'm a true believer. You're as only as strong as your weakest link and so forth. And um, being the weakest link doesn't mean they're they're bad at what they're doing. They just might be new or so forth. But having that staff being all on the same page is important. That goes along with your processes, right? What is your processes, strategies in place and so forth on that. Then finally, tech stack. I work for Square. I'm here because of Square, and I'm not gonna hammer this home away. There's a lot of great tech stacks out there. Square is one of them, or else I wouldn't work for them. But yes, we can dive deep into that and so forth. Ellie, any questions? I know I kind of just ran through that, and I want to or open up to questions or anything along those lines I can address on this.
I haven't seen any questions yet, but again, if anyone has any, please feel free to ask them and we will field them as we go.
Yeah. Um, let's go into next slide. Because I mean, there is a slide for questions at the end. So streamline your solutions. Why? What is the purpose, right? Why is this important? I think it's pretty straightforward, right? And the purpose is to increase that bottom line, right? The name of the game for any restaurateur, and what I hear from working with, I'm more mid market, right? I'm working up to 100, $200 million restaurant groups now, and it is all about increasing that bottom line. A for for their pockets or to the shareholders, right? They try to find ways and so forth, tech stack being one, how to acquire new customers, how to lower that cost and so forth. That is the main purpose, is to, you know, let's be real, increase that bottom line and be efficiency in what we do. And how can you do this, right? Many ways. Going back to the previous slide, those are 5 ways, but there's other ways out there that you can really um, help you achieve your goals, right? But I think one thing is making sure you know what your goals are and what your areas of opportunities are in regards to that. And what can you do today to get started? I mean, really, is just tackling it, right? The hardest thing to do is to get started on your problems, right? Nobody wants to do it. I mean, we've all been there, right? Every month I'm going back to the gym every month, and every month, I've kind of failed this past year, right? And that's accountability to myself, right? I got to look myself in the mirror and be like, hey, why haven't I done this right? Then restaurant solutions. Ellie, if you want to click on this will be the only plug that I will have for Square. uh, Square has a great restaurant, all restaurant solution site on our website. Our website can be a little confusing, so I purposely clicked the link there. But if you want to scroll to this alley real quick to the bottom, I mean, just go all the way to the bottom. Yeah, get rid of that. We give it visual of what we can do, cannot do, depending on what type of restaurant you are, right? And or really what type of business. Again, Square, y'all, works with every vertical. As y'all know, we started as a little white reader, that little mag ship, at the farmers market, and now we're, fine dining restaurants. We finally got our first couple Michelin star restaurants. Any way they can do it, so forth. But it's a link. Y'all can look at it, squareup.com, check it out. I'm not here to rah this, but um, our website has done a great job over the past 18 months to kind of, however you work, we can work with you, right? Kind of tailored around there. And I'll give you a little tidbit. We are launching our super app. And it's going to be customized to how the business works, because we work well with mixed concepts, no longer like a retail restaurant or a general app. It's going to be all in one, and you kind of build out your point of sale solution. TBD, should be soon. But all right, Allie, enough square love there. I don't want to not hear about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, this is the reason we're here, right? By doing all these things and finding ways, it at the end of the day boosts boosting that bottom line, right? Um, and I love it when an operator tells me that money doesn't matter, or that's not their main importance. I think we all know that operator is pretty much lying to us, right? Because that is very important to their livelihood, and especially with everything going on here in the state of Illinois. We all have been through the tip credit and so forth, and Sam and team at the IRA, Mary Kay, they've all done a great job to stay on top of it with the ever-changing policies. And I know it's a big top of mind for everyone. Go next slide, because it really is my Q&A. Again, y'all, take some time off, enjoy it. I'll be looking at something similar like this pretty soon, and I'm excited this is my time off. But I really want to open up for any questions anyone have. It can be about anything. Again, I consult inside of my own business. I'm a Square consultant, by trade, but I work with all types of businesses, and as an operator as well, a failed one.
I'll go ahead and stop sharing the screen.
Yeah,
I can start off with a question. Do
yeah.
you have any advice from your personal experience, like you said, with your past business, that just kind of off the top of your head you want to share? I know that's kind of a long question, but
Um, yeah. The reason I do what I do, I came to Square. I have a consulting business, right? Square knows. That's how they found me. Um, I love helping out people every day follow their dreams, right? Because I did, right? It mine just in, timing. Timing's everything in life. But yeah, if you have an idea, run with it, right? Fine. But it goes back to what we're talking about here. Make sure you have a plan in place. A lot of people in the business world have passion projects, right? Or they're passionate about something, but they don't have a business plan. So consult someone. Again, not plugging my business at all. Talk to people who you see are successful in it, but have a business plan. It's great to have an idea, but with an idea without a plan, it's set up for failure. So I would say make talk your network, attend meetings. IRA, you all do a great job with these webinars. There's so many resources out there. I mean, gosh, you have the internet on your phone, right? In your phone in your pocket, right? But a lot of people have succeeded and just have a plan. Great
And
question.
yeah, I think that's definitely good advice. I feel like the plan is, this is
I can't
also a
even tell
plug for
you.
the Cook
Yeah.
County Small Business Source. They have free business advising for, I believe
Yes.
it's businesses less
Yes.
than 20 people. So
Yeah, yes, exactly. I mean, like that's a free resource, it's time. But yeah, if you're going to invest time into building something, the time is the most important commodity we have. But why wouldn't you want to know how to do it from other people who have done it right, who are succeeding in it?
yeah, exactly. I have another question. When you talk about customer loyalty programs, do you have an example of like which ones you think maybe work best or ones you've seen that work really well?
Yeah, so great question too. Um, when you start a loyalty program with whatever tech stack you have, keep it simple. Do not make it convoluted or complicated and so forth. We give up to 15 options. I don't let my mid-market sellers do more than two, right? To the point, right? Going back to the Starbucks app just because I've been using the most lately. They keep it, you rack up point and there's different tiers, right? Do something along those lines. Keep it simple, incentivize them to keep coming back and keep coming back choosing you, right? Because that's what Starbucks is really doing, right? On their end. And so I just again, um, and also stay within your parameters. Don't don't do 10 visits, do $100 off and so forth. Find out what's a sweet spot for you, what you can discount. Do not go at a lost revenue, meaning that don't advertise or promote something that's going to be a negative loss to you on your bottom line. So, but keep it simple, uh, keep it direct, to the point of a couple and so forth. But again, make sure it's a plus for your business.
That's definitely good advice. And I like flagging the ones that work, like you said, the Starbucks app.
Yeah, I just used it this morning, so I'm really top of mind because I am impressed like what they're doing, and um, being that I am a Green Apron loyalist. Don't get me wrong. I'm a espresso connoisseur. I try from every small coffee owner. I love it, right? But no matter where I'm at in the world, I know that I can get a good cup of coffee at espresso at Starbucks, and also I'm more addicted to their water. Their water is amazing, and it's free if you buy something.
Yes, no, I mean, free water is always great. I guess another question is, you're talking about streamlining. Is there anything in particular that kind of you has stood out as something that you've, I guess, see more
Trends.
often than not that needs streamlining?
Yeah, the tech stack. It's been piecemeal together for many years, y'all. I'm 42 years old. My grandparents had a restaurant, so I mean, tech stacks are finally becoming a thing where it's a priority. And I just read an article this week. I've subscribed to all these payment websites, right? It's called Payment Dive. Great article on organic CRM. So if you guys I don't know if y'all know what CRM stands for, is customer relationship manager, right? A big one out there that most sales companies use is Salesforce, right? But something that Square and these other point of sale companies do as well is that we are capturing that data, right? Square being the only true ecosystem of hardware, software, and processing, all done in house. We're capturing 46 data points. That way, if you ever use your credit card at one Square seller and then went to another one, everybody knew your email or phone number. You want to text that receipt. It's capturing that data points, and once you give it permission, that customer gives it permission, they have your information to use for those marketing, right? So having a CRM is the trend for the payment world in 2025. And again, having a tech stack that does that, that you can use for your advantage to, get customers, not acquire customers, but get them to keep coming back. 'Cause that's also why Starbucks is doing those apps, right? These loyalty programs, right? It's to keep that customer coming back. That way it lowers the cost of acquiring new customers.
That actually perfectly segues into our next question, which is, are there any platforms or restaurants that you recommend for restaurants that can help with consolidating, streamlining, and they also integrate with Square?
Yes, there's so many. And I for Patronics, I mean, Gosh, y'all, like Square alone has 600 restaurant third party integrations just for restaurants, over 1,000 for all our different verticals. So depending on what what you're trying to accomplish, what your goals are, and also what size of your business, right? Because there's different types of partners for what you're willing to spend, but there's some that start off at $0, working with Square, right? And again, not here to plug the other ones, but they all have something, right? They all have their different traditions, but for the most part, all the main players and third-party solutions all work with all the partners, work with all the point of sales and so forth. So I would just say resource your point of sale or your provider and see what they have to offer and see what partners integrate for what exactly we're looking for. But yeah, for me, like Paytonics is a high-end mid-market where they do more than we do if they at that level.
Perfect, perfect. So I think that's a good place to end it. I appreciate you giving all these great answers and a little bit of insight. So I'd
Of
like to
course.
thank the Cook County Small Business Source for their continued support. Thank everyone for attending, and thank you again, Robert, for with Square for the great insight. So after this webinar ends, attendees will receive an email with the recording and links to the presentation. So thank you everyone who attended. Thank you again, Robert, and everyone have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays. Enjoy your
Yes.
time off. Take some time off. That's my only plug.
I love it. Bye, everyone.